Yeah, I saw that today. I test him, and yeah, it's part of the business. We do what we have to do, and I wish him the best and good luck to him.
How tough just is this time of year?
It's hard now, when you got trade, I got to move from somewhere to another, and get a new teammate. But it's like I said, I wish you the best to him and wait for what's going to happen.
Do you try to block out that possible distraction when you're pitching? Because it could be you as well, obviously.
Yeah, I don't try to think about it, just like I said the other day, just try to go one step at a time. I'm here today. I'm going to do my best to help the team win. It's all I can do.
What did you learn from being traded by the deadline by the Phillies last year?
I learned that the base was a business, and like I say, you do what you have to do.
Do you think it's been a nervous time for the clubhouse the last week or two?
No, we just try to go out and do our best and win baseball game.
For the bullpen, it's, kind of what it's been with Baker going and Felix going down is, we're just trying to mix and match the best we can. We're going to look at all the information and try to get guys in spots where the matchups are favorable to them. I think as you kind of saw some roles formulate, when we had Baker here, and it was pretty much Sir Anthony in the 7th, Baker in the 8th, Felix in the 9th, and then using Soto as kind of like a high-leverage lefty matchup guy, then using Aiken as kind of like a bulk lefty guy. It's going to be hard to do that with how we're currently constructed. So it'll probably be different most nights.
Soto maybe had some ups and downs throughout this season, but numbers against lefties were right about what you'd expect from him.
Yeah.
What just kind of asset was he for the bullpen for you?
Well, I think, talking to Ryan Klimek, who's really in tune with what's going on, he told me probably about 10 days ago that there's a lot of the numbers that we track are some of the best in his career. So he was doing good. It was up and down at times, but he was getting lefties out, which is what he's getting paid to do ultimately. So, I think, yesterday was a great example. He goes in the game in a really tight game, and, that might have been one of our easier saves of the year right there in that spot one-run game in Cleveland. And, you're going 8-9-1 right there. You end up on Quan. So, I thought Gregory did a great job. I thought he probably got off to a little bit of a rough start initially in 24, but after those first few outings, I think by and large he did a wonderful job.
You see the O's sporting those hats this weekend, Hall of Fame patch, baseball Hall of Fame patch on the side. And joining me right now is probably a future Orioles Hall of Famer. He is Rock Abaco. Rock, Gregory Soto back in the National League East, this time with the New York Mets.
From your mouth to God's ears. Yes. When Soto was shaking hands after the game, do you think he was saying goodbye as well? Like, guys, it's been real. I could be gone. We've been talking so much about Ryan O'Hearn being the big trade chip, but really the bullpen is the hot spot at this trade deadline. And we've already seen Brian Baker go. Now Gregory Soto, Sir Anthony Dominguez could be next. Andrew Kittredge, even though he has a $9 million option. And Mansolino said earlier today, he's like, we still want to win. We're trying to win, but it's a lot harder when you subtract your high-leverage bullpen guys, clearly. And Soto was a big one. And you look at what, lefties hitting 138 against them. And there's been a little bit up and down, but since that early tenure last year, 2 of his first 3 outings were really bad. He's been pretty solid for them. So that's a big piece that you're removing your back end, your bullpen, but that's life of a seller. And you get a couple minor league pitchers, you go ahead and make that deal. But it's going to be tricky. Right now they have 1 lefty in the pen, and that's Grant Wolfram, and they've got maybe 4 guys who aren't used to high leverage situations regularly. They're going to have to step up. They're a man short in the bullpen right now. They selected Jeremiah Jackson's contract from AAA. He's an infielder. So that's temporary probably, but nonetheless, your short reliever tonight. Keegan Aiken, they didn't consider bringing him back from his rehab assignment with Norfolk. They want to get him another appearance tomorrow, dealing with that left shoulder inflammation. They're being really careful with him. So Mansolino wants to keep winning despite the team being sellers, but when you remove these bullpen pieces, it does make it a lot more challenging. And Soto, that was the big arm in the back end of the bullpen. There's a reason why teams were interested in him.
Absolutely. Rock, thanks a lot, my friend. And good to see you still out of the sun.
Thanks.